I think it's fantastic opportunity for people to come and get a view of what's happening, what's the latest. And also, when you're working in one organization, you typically hear from your own leaders. You don't get to hear from leaders of other organizations.
Correct.
So this gives you an opportunity to, get a view from a variety of leaders. I don't think the talent is changing. I think the talent is, the level of talent is the same or rising rather, because we have a bigger pool now. But, the way people react to to a situation is changing.
Hi, you're watching The Mainstream. I am Simran Shiwalkar, your host for today, and we are at GCCConverge Summit and Awards 2025 Hyderabad chapter, brought to you by The Mainstream and presented by Airtel Business. I'm joined by Mr. Sagarneel Ray. He is the Director for Finance at Carrier. Firstly, Mr. Ray, thank you so much for joining me.
Sure, good to be here.
How has your experience been so far with so many conversations around the growth story?
Yeah, so I think this is a wonderful experience. I'm seeing a lot of leaders from different segments and different capabilities. Like there are, people from finance, people from engineering background, people from IT background, and it is an opportunity for them to give their views and set off against each other.
Right.
And there is a discussion on a variety of topics, all of which are quite relevant to GCCs. And I think it's fantastic opportunity for people to come and get a view of what's happening, what's the latest. And also, when you're working in one organization, you typically hear from your own leaders. You don't get to hear from leaders of other organizations.
Correct.
So this gives you an opportunity to, get a view from a variety of leaders. So I think it's a wonderful thing for all GCC people in the GCC world to come and have a view.
Today, GCCs are no longer just delivery hubs, they are also becoming innovation centers. We have heard about the Center of Excellence story.
Right.
How do you see that shift playing out in your experience?
See, it's something which every organization, when they set up the GCCs for the first time, needs to develop over a period of time. So I've been in this space for more than a decade, and I've seen that it originally started off with something called a business process outsourcing.
Right.
At some point, the outsourcing word has been dropped, and it has become like a partnership.
Right.
Okay. And I think in a developed GCC space, which has been, let's say, in India and in operating and has chosen the right leaders, and over a period of, let's say, 4-5 years, a lot of the leadership positions are shifting from global to India.
Correct.
Okay. And that just shows that the talent is here, and it just needs to be developed.
Right.
And so I think that upskilling, which is happening very well, I think people from India are like standing up.
Right.
And claiming their positions in the global
Right.
market. So I see at some point even the GCC word will again change. It's still a relatively new word. So probably we would be probably at a stage where there would be no distinction between let's say the New York office or the London office.
Right.
And the India office. It will
Right.
just be one more office having a set of leaders.
Right.
Delivering global processes, and that's the future. And I think we can see that, right, in the way
Absolutely.
things are growing. So I think it's a wonderful journey that's going on. I'm happy to be part of this. Yeah.
Thank you so much. And lastly, we have been hearing about talent being one of the non-negotiables, along with purpose and flexibility as well. Now,
Yes.
when you see that from a leader's point of view, how do you think these non-negotiables are kind of, becoming a mandate, and what has been new in that space?
Yeah. So I think every generation which comes, and when they need to manage the next generation,
Right.
and there is always some confusion and some fear. And so let's say the Gen X, then the millennials.
Correct.
Then the Gen Z.
Gen Z.
So every time there is a change, and people think, oh my God,
How
are we going to
that
manage
new
them?
talent?
How are we going to manage the new talent? And the new talent, I don't think the talent is changing. I think the talent is, the level of talent is the same or rising rather, because we have a bigger pool now. But, the way people react to to a situation is changing.
Correct.
So I think the organization and its leaders need to adapt, and they need to be flexible. Like, for example, work from home.
Correct.
Meaning this concept does not exist 5 years back.
Right.
But now it's very difficult to have 100% work from office.
Right.
If the organization setup demands it, then it's fine. But so both the organization and the employees need to be flexible. That what makes sense. 2 days in office, 3 days in office, or even 5 days in office, or 0 days in office. What makes sense to the organization and the employees? So I think it's a two-way street, and the organization need to be flexible. The employees, or let's say the partners in the organization, also need to be flexible.
Right.
And obviously the organization needs to provide opportunities for develop. So as you know, the Maslow hierarchy, as we progress, probably our parents and our grandparents, their only need from the organization was the salary.
Correct.
But that's not true anymore, right? Now the employees require much more from the organization, and the organization has to gear up to deliver that. I think most organizations are gearing up, and that's good. And so that's the future, right? It's we need to look at everybody as partners.
Right.
Yeah.
I think that is the way ahead. As we move from one generation to the other, the talent pool will also change, and I think the leadership lens will also shift accordingly.
Yes.
So thank you so much for
Sure.
being very insightful and sharing your ideas. Well,
Thank you.
I look forward to connect with you again.
Thank you for having me.
Thank
Thanks.
you.